Today's Thursday, November 5th, 2020, and today I'm just going to explain as simply as I can why people make up animals. And it's nothing new. Way back in the day, if you've ever looked at really old maps that have oceans on it, you'll usually see a few scary ocean monsters drawn on the map. And people have been telling tall tales of fake animals probably since the beginning. And people still come up with them. I guess Chupacabra is pretty recent invention, and it's just nothing new. Chupacabra, got the jackalope. Every area has their own hoax animals. Drop Bear's a double hoax because it's a hoax built on a hoax. Koalas are not real animals. They're just little plushies that people used to build a taxidermy bear and stick it up in a tree, and they tell people that it's an animal. And nowadays it's just a little bit more advanced. They have CGI and animatronics. There's Wolpertinger. It's just nothing new. The platypus, people knew that the platypus was a hoax when they first came out with it. The platypus is so weird that scientists, even the scientists, thought the first specimen was a hoax. And they were right. But there's this whole concept of a big lie. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. And so just like the platypus, the scientists at the time, they knew it was a hoax, but they just kept telling the lie over and over and over again, and it's just been adopted, and people just assume it's true. No, platypus are not real. That's one of the biggest animals that they use to try to push evolution. When you start to get the hang of what the fake animals are the ones that you don't just see running around outside like squirrels and cats and dogs. The fake animals are the special ones that you need to see on the TV or at the zoo. And we're going to get into one that you see at the zoo in particular in a second. But anyways, you get the feel for what the big animals are, the big fake animals. And they're the media favorites too. The media loves the fake animals more than anything. That's why the WWF isn't just like a squirrel or a dog or something. It's a panda. And that's why Australia is all about the koala. I mean, they're all about the kangaroo too, but kangaroos are real, so you really see the koala pushed a lot more than you see the kangaroo pushed. And if you can think back to the wildfires, they were constantly having stories about koalas in the wildfire, but I think I saw one story about kangaroos in the wildfires, and kangaroos are actually real, and they just make all these stories about their stuffed animals. People would go out into the woods wherever they keep these plushies up in the trees, and they would save the plushies, and then they love to make their viral video with all the plushies in their car. Oh, look at these things that I saved. And yeah, there was some bad footage out of that. Anyways, I'm going to spend probably the bulk of this video just talking about this one fake animal in particular. It's not a fake animal in that it's not alive. It's that they take an animal that is alive, say a donkey or a horse, and they camouflage it, they paint it, and they tell you that it's a new animal. And it's one that you can clearly see the brainwashing when you're able to step back and look from afar and see how many times were you told Z is for what? Z is for zebra. Gets told to you about 1 million times when you're growing up. That's the only reason that you believe in zebras, is because Z is for zebra has just hypnotized you into living in a place where you can't even question it. What do you mean zebras are painted that way? Well, that's the secret. So this is from the Wikipedia article on animals in the Bible. And if you go and you read where it talks about the ass, and it talks about how it's it's a very important animal in the Bible. And then when you just keep reading, get down to this part. The custom was introduced very early, as it seems, and still prevails, to paint the most shapely and valuable donkeys in stripes of different colors. And I don't know about you, but I've never seen a donkey painted up with green and white stripes. I've never seen a horse painted up with blue and white stripes or any color combination. Why don't I see green and red striped horses around Christmas time? And it's because they don't want to tell you in on the secret, but they're telling you plainly here that it still prevails. Do you just see how clearly whoever wrote this knew about the secret about zebras? The custom was introduced very early, as it seems, and still prevails to paint the most shapely and valuable donkeys in stripes of different colors. Today, their favorite colors to paint them are black and white, and they tell you it's a zebra. Zebras have so much programming out there kind of hinting at the truth. There's 1,000,001 comics of the stripes falling off of a zebra or somebody painting stripes on a zebra. There's 1,000,001 instances of things like this where they will tell you that you disguise a horse as a zebra. The joke is, and this is a meme that they use with their fake animals all the time, they present you with a really badly painted, or they present you with a really bad representation of whatever the fake animal is, and then they point you over towards a nicer looking one, and it makes you think that the nicer looking one must be real. Oh, if this really bad attempt, right? This is like if a non-artist attempts to paint up something to look like a zebra. However, you get a skilled artist to paint up a horse looking exactly like a zebra, well, then it looks exactly like a zebra, because that's exactly what zebras are. They're a horse that has a very skilled artist paint stripes on them. Right? What makes a painted horse? It's a zebra that doesn't pass. That's basically it. What is a painted horse? It's a zebra that doesn't pass as a zebra. They didn't do a good enough job painting it. Back in the days, the rich aristocrats would be able to ride these things because they're just horses, and nowadays they tell you a bunch of lies about why you can't ride them, and it's just because they don't want the secret out. That's why they don't let anybody ride zebras, because they don't want the secret out. But the Masons are really good at keeping these secrets. They know that even if somebody goes out and tells the truth, there's going to be a ton of people that can come out of the woodworks and shame them for pointing out the simple truth that zebras are painted that way. That's why some of them are so nice. Like, these ones are really, really nice. They're not all this good quality. And the thing that you'll notice, though, because this is in LA, that's why these ones are really nice. Look at the nose. That's just a regular horse's nose. You can see that they don't paint all the way up the nose, probably because it irritates the animal. When they drink water, that's probably why. Look, that's just a horse's nose. That's a horse. That's not a zebra. So, you know, when people are like, are zebras black with white stripes? Are zebras white with black stripes? Neither. They are clearly brown, and they've been painted black and white. It's brown. Look at underneath it. It's brown. And a lot of times around the eyes, too. It's like you can even see the brown in the hair, too. Yep, they are brown, and they're painted black and white. Why are there so many different types of stripes? How come sometimes the stripes are faded? Sometimes you'll see them smudged, and it's because it's up to artistic interpretation. And that's why you get some that are half painted. There's another thing that there's 1,000,001 of is all the different combinations of, throughout history, everybody has claimed to make some sort of, a zebra and a mule, a zule, a zebra and a horse, a zorse. For every combination that you can think of, somebody has talked about it. And all it is, it's just a horse at various different stages of painting. We're going to just paint its head a little bit. That's a Kyoga or whatever. They're all horses. Horses are horses. And I guess that's another point of this video. Why do they fake animals? A big reason they fake animals is to push this false notion of evolution. There's no such thing as evolution, but God did create animals with the ability to adapt. That's why squirrels in one area might look a little different than squirrels in another area. You have big squirrels, you have small squirrels that fill different areas of things that squirrels do. But I think at the end of the day, they're all squirrels. And so when Noah had to bring squirrels on board the ark, I don't think he had to bring 5,000 different squirrels on board the ark. I think he probably just brought, maybe 2 different types of squirrel-like creatures. I don't know. But that's a big thing about their fake animals. They want you to think that Noah's Ark is an impossibility, because how could Noah have fit all the different species on there? Well, it's because there's a lot of fake species out there. And a lot of them are the same species, just slightly different. Stuff like this, they just took some cat-like creature and painted some stripes on it. And I liked the title here, Playing God. And they have, see how they have the bricks in the background? That's a masonry reference. They love this idea of showing you why zebras have stripes, because they are horses with stripes on top of them. Why would they use a picture of a horse with a zebra covering? This is a BBC thing, and it's because they're showing you the truth. You take a horse and you put a zebra cover on it, and that's what makes a zebra. Can't you tell this one's painted different? This artist really prefers the white. Not many stripes on this one. It's up to artistic interpretation. It fades, and just look how poorly done sometimes it is. Not every zebra is created equally. And that's why when you go to Africa and you see the herds of zebra, they keep you far away from them. You see them off in the distance, because they're probably painted poorly like this one. This one, they didn't even do anything to the legs. It's just a white horse with paint on it. And yeah, a lot of times you see the faded paint. Look, it looks like they took a yak and put some stripes on it. That's why I picked this one. Deviltree threatens the world's rarest zebras. There's just some artists out there that do really thin stripes, and then they'll just call it a different type of zebra. Oh, they love to make their fake animals be endangered and on the brink of extinction. Because they want to have you have emotional reactions to things. But look at the nose. It's just a horse's nose. A brown horse. And they take the mane and they chop it. That's why it's spiky. The nose. Look at this. That's not the natural mane. It's because it's chopped that way. The natural mane is long, thick, and heavy, but is usually clipped in a distinctive crescent shape to between 5 and 10 centimeters so that it stands straight up. So that's how do the zebras have a different looking mane? Because it's cut that way. Because they're painted and they have to maintain it, so they're manicured horses, and so they can keep the mane cut. And I guess I can talk about this. There's a place in California called Hearst Castle, and they would always talk about how Hearst Castle had zebras, but every time I would go, there would be no zebras there. And I think it's because it's just too much money to upkeep. A lot of people have told me that their local zoo claims to have zebras, but they just won't see them. And zebras are something that you hear a lot about, people saying that they're hyped up, but then you go and you just can't even see them, or they're really, really far away or something. You'd think with all the zebras, they would let us get really close to them, but that's not how it is. Here you go. Here's some dogs painted like pandas. Evolution or evolution. Yeah, we didn't come from great apes. Great apes are actors in fursuits. They're not real. That's a clear motive for faking the great apes, because if you go through the modern education system and you believe all the BS, then you leave there thinking that you came from a monkey. So they have succeeded with their brainwashing using their fake animals. And of course I used to believe in all that BS, but God opened my eyes. Praise God, praise Jesus Christ. He woke a lot of us up in 2017. And I think a few years later, a big revelation for me was this fake animal thing. And it just clicks into place for so many things. And now I can see it. It's like, once you know the magic trick, it's not effective anymore. What the brain does, expectations influence reality. If you believe in fursuits, they're going to look real to you. And so Noah's Ark, another big reason. I already mentioned it, so I'll just skip past it, but I just want to show. So Noah's Ark is something that they're mocking with the fake animals. Every year they come out with tons of new fake animals, and they get crazier and crazier with them. And at a certain point you need to realize, if such a crazy animal existed, wouldn't I have already known about it? How can they constantly come up with these crazy new animals? But then at the same time, humans are supposed to be destroying every animal out there. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah, a big one that they're mocking is Noah's Ark. They want you to think that there's just millions and millions of animal species out there, but that's not true. And I guess it's worth pointing out that sometimes some of their animals are just like genetic freak experiments, like the giraffes. I think that the giraffes are just like something that they created, some strange camel that they bred to have a really long neck. But look how... Trash truck going by. Look how on Noah's Ark, the point I wanted to make about Noah's Ark, look how on Noah's Ark, the animals that they choose to put on Noah's Ark are the fake animals. The painted zebras. They got penguins. I have videos about penguins. They got the pandas. Why are those the animals that they choose to put on there? And it's because it's a big joke. They know that those animals are not real. Here they probably got more. Look, orangutan. It's not a real animal. Koalas. Seriously. They almost always, walruses are very suspicious. I think walruses are just like elephant seals that they stick big tusks on. So I'll just finish up. This is just one of my daily videos, but this is something that people ask me all the time, so I figured I'd make it. And so if anybody ever asks me, why do they fake animals, I can just send them here. Another thing I don't seem to get, that it seems that a lot of people don't want to admit the animal thing, even though they know everything on TV is fake. Everything on TV is fake. So why do you believe documentaries? Why do you believe what comes out of Nat Geo? And, I mean, you should just think about how pandas are just a media sensation. It's not like a real life thing. Everybody experiences these fake animals through the media, not through real life. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So I guess the final reason why they fake animals is because they're liars, they're deceivers. Satan's a liar. Satan comes up with fake things. And Satan tries to be like God. So God created all the animals, so of course Satan wants to create his own animals. And just think of